A verdict is expected on Friday in the trial of Italian Deputy Prime Minister Matteo Salvini. Salvini is accused of abuse of office and the deprivation of liberty of 147 migrants after he refused to let a migrant rescue boat to dock in Italy in 2019 when he was Interior Minister. Prosecutors in Sicily have asked judges to sentence him to 6 years in jail, as Salvini has already said that he will lodge an appeal if found guilty. Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni has stood by her deputy prime minister, saying that she has his and her government's solidarity in this moment. For more on this story, our Rome correspondent Seema Gupta is with us. Seema, take us through what we can expect from this trial for Matteo Salvini, who is facing a maximum of 6 years in prison, and yet he remains defiant. Tell us more.
Yes, absolutely defiant. In fact, speaking just outside the courtroom in Palermo, where this hearing is taking place, this morning he said yet again he felt proud of what he did. All he was doing was trying to protect Italy's borders. That was his stance at the time when he was Interior Minister back in 2019. And yes, you're right. As you put it, the prosecutors have asked for a 6-year jail term. Now, it's important to note anything above 5 years, once there's a 5-year jail term, that automatically bans him from holding office. That said, however, he has room for appeal. And here in Italy, a decision, a verdict is not final until it goes through 2 levels of appeals. And he has said he will appeal all the way, even if necessary, to the highest court of the land. He remains very defiant, saying that all he was doing was his job to protect the borders. Now, those on the other side that have accused him of those charges of kidnapping and dereliction of duty say that this is a case about the issues of human rights versus your job in protecting the country's borders. Because, of course, those 147 asylum seekers that were on board that Spanish-run NGO migrant rescue ship, they were left at sea for almost 3 weeks. The situation on board in terms of the hygiene situation as well as sanitation was severely deteriorating. And it was because of that that in the end, a prosecutor entered on board the ship, declared that it had to be seized after spending close to 3 weeks at sea. And those asylum seekers were allowed to dock on the island of Lampedusa. Now, Mr. Salvini said this is what he believes was the right position to take because they believe these migrant rescue ships are actually encouraging illegal migration, and this is their way of controlling it. Now, he has the support not just of his other right-wing allies in government, but also right-wing politicians at the European Union level.
And Seema, as you just said, he has support. Giorgia Meloni says she supports her deputy prime minister in this moment. And if he is found guilty, what could be the political impact on her own government? As Meloni's government does face its own judicial challenges on its own migration policy.
Yes, particularly on their project with Albania that has been stalled, this idea of moving migrants from so-called protected countries, that they can be processed on the land and the territory of Albania. That migration processing center is still lying idle because judges have intervened to block that as well. Now, this is part really of the government's stand that it's these, as they put it, left-wing judges and left-wing magistrates that are out to tackle all the policies of this far-right and right-wing government, this coalition government that is in power here in Italy. And earlier this week, we saw Meloni addressing Parliament, speaking out in solidarity with her deputy prime minister, with her key coalition partner. He got a standing ovation from right-wing politicians. On the left, of course, they say there's the whole issue, as I mentioned, the human rights of these asylum seekers. It's also interesting to note, while he has gotten the support of other right-wing politicians such as Viktor Orban, the leader of Hungary, we've also seen tweets tweets from Elon Musk on his social media network X, saying that it's crazy that Salvini is being tried for defending Italy. Now, Mr. Salvini, though, in this respect, accusing those left-wing judges and so on, is bursting his support and boosting his loyal supporters who feel that he is being persecuted. And so this very much plays into his idea of what's happening to him. It's interesting to note that 3 of the prosecutors involved in this are 3 female prosecutors. And since September, they've had to receive police protection because they've received threats as well as online harassment for what they're doing. So some are saying this entire process, of course, is creating this division between the government and the judiciary, something that doesn't play out very well for the purposes of the country, of course.